Getting live. Just going to toss out a note to the socials, let folks know. Are we done? Did it? We arrived on time. Let's see, it's post out. It's post out. Quote. Design challenges. Sorry, folks, still just posting out here. There we go. All right. We are back. Let's put that out there. Get back to our Figma. Real good. Well, welcome everybody to the live stream. We are live again with some design solutions, design parts. I'm going to create some awful feedback for a sec. I want to try to make sure I'm being actually broadcast. Let's see here. Seem to be live, and I'm going to create some awful feedback. Seem to be live. There it is. Okay. Neat. Great. So when we last left off, did not receive many new ones today, so we're going to continue on with our previous one. When we last left off, we were updating the real sales video. I got a few new startups to look at. Specifically, I went to Reddit with SaaS Roast My Page, and I found some really interesting folks with 4 or 5 different startups asking to please roast my landing page, help me make it better. And I thought, how better to do that than a live design stream? So I might look into some of those. I did want to first focus, unless we do get a comment on any of the platforms that asks for a specific review. We will keep going with this one. Let me get the banner up. There we go. How about that? Great. Now, so we last left it. We were looking at real sales video, and anybody watching in live, feel free to interrupt me at any time if you want to post a comment for something I might be able to help you with. But when we first started, here's where we had left things off. A very difficult color choice as far as the seafoam, as we were calling it at the time, but an interesting one with this kind of vibrant green, something that we tried to maintain. So worked the banner. I mean, the real challenge was the explainer videos, really cool, interactive, beautiful, well-designed videos that they produced to explain things, and it's all contained to this tiny little box. We had this entire space, and it's all incredibly boxed in. So we broke a bunch of it. So we'd taken it out, and most ideally, I'd love to see this being actually animated itself. Ideally, it'd be 3 or 4 kind of animations running in this banner part to just punch home immediately they land. And they come in, read this, animate videos that generate revenue. And then we hop over this, and this guy is immediately animated and moving. It's sort of oh, that's what these guys do. Play button here, they could go ahead and then actually play a video that could show some of their samples. Broke up some of the boxing of it. Just a trick I really like to do. I'm sort of heavy into these days as far as having items break the boxes to help guide the user further down. We did the iconography, and again, the fact is this was about interactive animations, right? We do videos, beautiful videos to do, and then when it came into these boxes, it's these tiny little thumbnails. And it's funny, I do think if you look at these 2 changes, actually, oh goodness, let me change up how my screen is displaying. Go with, there we go, much better. Okay, so so again, we look at these 2 banners here. The getting rid of sort of the blocky, constrained nature of this one and having it open, airy. We were able to use this seafoam, but because we just softened it a bunch so that we're going to have better contrast. One of the other big challenges here, this kind of blue that they were working with and this green, not a great contrast, like doesn't catch. Whereas opposed to this, we're actually able to kind of reuse the green, keep a very limited color palette, always important. And then like pull that out. These three icons, pull them out. These, when you look at these two, like it's funny because these thumbnails are not that much bigger than this, and yet it just feels so much more prominent as far as like this is a video to watch and it's something that we do. Despite these do play on YouTube, but my suggestion for that would be just have this as an image that triggers a pop-up, and then the YouTube video is in the pop-up, so they could just watch those ones as they go. And then we were playing around with these boxes here. We had a couple options for that. I largely suggested just having it streamed, you know, like all of these shadowed boxes crowded in like this. And the real challenge here, the problem with this is just how crowded each of them was, right? Like you had some of these that are like literally touching the sides, which is just an absolute no-go for logos when you're dealing with people's brands. So, you know, just have this big old carousel, have it kind of shooting across the side. Have it show there. Let's see. Here we are. Great. So that's as far as we got. We will continue along here. I do think I'm kind of leaning towards this options. I had proposed an idea. There's just something about having these here. My challenge is these here, and then I'm not sure about that transition. God, I like that kind of better, if I'm honest. There's just something about him sitting on top of these logos, and like I come in here and it's just immediate reinforcement that they have done credibility. Like, look, they've done work for IBM. Like, wow, they could do work for me. You know, I will say looking at these two, I kind of prefer it. Now the graying out of it, that's purely just because we don't want to. Do not want all those colors. There's a whole lot of colors from a whole lot of logos. Sometimes it's not a big deal, but in this case, it just felt like it was conflicting. We're already dealing with some difficult color choices because of the seafoam. All right, lovely, loved seafoam. Okay, let's get into it. So with that moves up there, we're now looking into why we make animations, which I think we have. Did we not save it down below? We didn't. Not a problem. We'll just grab it from here. You know, of all the sections, like this really isn't one of the more problematic ones. Like it's very kind of nice, right? Like fairly simple, nice like green button that goes with that. The color is already kind of muted. This does seem to me to be kind of a blue as opposed to a green. Yeah, so the only challenge there with that is if we're working with, this is our color palette, and this is all, again, this is a difficult color to work with. It'd be better just to streamline it. Let's keep, like, we do green. That is it, green, and it's kind of like vibrant green. So accordingly, what I'll do is let's go ahead and I'll just take and just ungroup this all. And so doing, I'll probably get rid of it anyways. Yep. Ding, 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 ding. As anyone who watched the last stream will attest, one of the challenges is I was able to pull in the entirety of the website using a fantastic plugin, HTML to Design. The challenge with it is it puts everything into a crazy amount of groups, and then it also adds a auto layout, which in our current exploration phase slows us way the heck down. Okay, that one's good. Let's keep on going with here. Group and group and group and group. Yeah, and in this case too, it's not like a paragraph, so that'll be annoying to deal with later, but not a problem. And even there, right, like just ruins our buttons. Now, did I rebuild this button? I think I did. Whoa. And again, the original one seems to have gone into sort of a blue, and we did it more of a dark green, which I think was going to be a little bit more appealing to the eyes. Okay, we got that. Let's say start with animation today. Great. Let's replace it. Get out of here. We're in. Okay. So why we make animations? Title. So originally it was there. If we take this section and we kind of continue on, it's kind of like too cute by half to do another one. So this, we have our videos against this green. So we've already cracked that up. So it kind of feels like that would go there. I kind of just wish we didn't have... Did I have to add more? Looks like I did, which I'm not sure we need to. And it'd be really great is to get like a GIF of like a beating heart for this one. So, you know, again, like we are animating all of these parts. Why are we making animations? You know, there's something to be said about like some simplicity. It's like we do not have to go crazy every single time, but you know, I think each section is sort of an opportunity to tell a story, showcase something. I think you can embed inside of there, didn't you? Okay. You know, just add some depth and like fill out some of the areas, like create some visual interest. And I probably would want to even reduce this way down. I almost feel like I'm being too cute and I'm doing this too often. You know, we already had some stuff here, so it's kind of like maybe just leave that to speak for itself. But let's get it in here and see what happens. Let's go. Let's bring this way down so it's really not a massive part of the story. We're just going to add a little bit of texture and some... Yeah, I'm not really feeling it. I'm going to leave that there for now, and then we'll come back to it and see how, in the greater context of the flow, how that works. Yeah, that what I would love to see is as we're scrolling down here, this is just a GIF, and it's like, poof, 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 like it's just pumping there for us. Okay, that's been so far. That's been the easiest section we've had to do. So that's pretty nice. Drink a coffee and then eventually drink to switch over to a different beverage. Now, how we make them. Thankfully on the actual website itself, this is animated, which I think is excellent. I think again, what you can see though is like the sizing of it. Like we have this kind of cool animation that reinforces the value prop. Like it talks about the thing that we do, but it's super small, and it's especially compared to the story of how it gets made. And some of the examples I'd seen and pulled up of similar companies, I'd seen some kind of longer discussions of it where there was almost like a timeline of how like it actually gets kind of done. And each one of these has like text in it. How do we make them? Script, storyboard, voiceover, animation, delivery. So this is our process. Let's see. Let's see. This could take up our whole night. Let's see, what can we do here? No, there's actually more to it. Okay. That's fine. We can recrop it if needed. Okay, so far so good. Nope, let's not do that. Okay, so this is where we'll stop it. Same thing here. Let's get these items broken up. So it kind of seems like, how do we make them? It's like step 1, script, step 2, storyboard, step 3. I wonder if we can get rid of the Get rid of all these auto layouts. And I think these items are pretty flat, and then we can just move them around. Put them there, put them there, put them there, put them there. Okay, so here we are. How do we make them? This is a animation site. This is about characters and lively moving bits to try to show them how it actually works. So we want to make sure that it's prominent in that way. So the cool thing, as I said, on the site, this is actually moving. Now it looks like it's kind of, I've messed that up a little bit. Let's see, real sales video. Let's go to the site quick. See if I can grab. Here we are. Going to just grab a screenshot of it so I can zooming in so I get a decent size when it's in SVG. So okay, this is going to be easier than trying to deal with it. There we go. No, that's not where I wanted it. Great. Up, you, out, you, in. Get this in front so I know where my barrier is. Okay. How we make them. Yeah, I guess in a way, if we even have it overlaid, at the very least too, I think just from a flow perspective, it'd be kind of nice to have that first one open. If not the entire thing open to begin with. As far as like, let me walk you through it. It's kind of chunky. It doesn't feel great for a okay, animated explainer video. Let's go online and figure out how the people are doing. Animated explainer video, our process. Okay, we're gonna grab 6 or 7 of these and see if any of them has like our steps. I saw some before. That's why I know to like check here. Yeah, so it's like this is not a bad idea, I think, just to kind of like walk through the steps. And that's why it's open too. I mean, we do lose the bit of animation, but we can play around with that, see what we might like. What is an explainer video? This just seems to be ads, so I don't think that's going to help us. Explain Ninja. Experience that. Do you have a process? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of nice. That one too. Just have it kind of laid out. Again, like given the nature of what we're doing, it's just why hide and make people click to get it, Like I don't think that serves the business very well. So okay, that's 2 cool ideas. Dun, 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 dun. Powerful and simple. On time. Yeah, see? Look at this. Trusted by. They got the same type of thing that we were going for. Well, well, well. Designers thinking alike. Okay, this one's got nothing for us. 7 steps. And this is just an actual blog article. Let's see what they got. Designing and coffee. Together at last. Yeah, that's no good there. And then our process. Blah, 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 blah. This is more of a blog post. Now, see, this is like kind of a bit more like a header, sentence, action button video. But if you look at the way that kind of like this was spaced, as opposed to this, like it feels a bit more purposeful. Like they are really using the negative space to hone in on the particular message, and it takes up the full screen perfectly. And you got this kind of cool interactive bit. Oh, I want to click on it. Now, I don't like how I would like to see more space here. This feels accidental. That part I don't like, but the companies that click the button, that's smooth. That's nice. Okay, do we have check out some of our work? That's excellent. Discover how we can help you. Who are they? Contact us. Okay, not quite. Very nice website, though. This would be a really good one to take some hints off of. This one seems to be very well built. Nicely designed. But for our purposes, this looks nice. That's kind of a nice flow to do, and this is a nice flow. Both kind of like common things that you see online. I think we can... Now, is this just a photo? No, they've actually driven it out. All right, then. Let us do this then. Script. Grab his content. I don't like those icons are a bit blocky. We'll see what we can do. You know, because I like these icons look kind of nice, they're a bit airy. But then you look at these ones, those aren't the same, right? So again, that's kind of where we're mixing metaphors, we're mixing visual styles. Definitely something we want to avoid. And then same thing, you know, then we've gone back to the other style. So we kind of want to pick a lane with that one. Let's go with, let's not think about it too much. Let's build the two flows and see where we land. So we have what color is that? Is that a, hold on, is that like a purple? No, I missed it. Oops. I had let some purple stand. Not on my watch. It'd be nice if it was that, but not bad. Okay, let's get this down to a very dark gray. Let's make this our very dark gray. Let's get this center, is it? Line to the top. Boom. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Okay, this is first step is script. We are going to make this real ugly at first to get all the pieces in play, and then we're going to figure out where we go from there. Scripts. You auto layout? Why are you looking like that? Oh, Figma, how I love thee. Storyboard. What do we got? Boom. Storyboard. We got voiceover. Get the feeling we are going to be playing around with some iconography very soon. Thankfully, I have a membership at Flat Icon that is going to serve us real well for that part of it. Voiceover, what do we got next? Animation. You know, I've taken I've done some voiceover work. It is fantastic. I also recorded the audiobook for my own book. The audiobook version of my book that I released. And that was torture. It's like having to read my own words, which the entire time it's like I really wish I could just redo this, but the book is currently selling, so I can't really just change the audiobook version. But then just like to get the sentences perfect in a string, I think what I ended up doing was reading 1 to 2 sentences at a time, stopping the recording and starting again just so I could hit, because otherwise I was never going to get it out. Okay, now those are all those. Do we have a, it's kind of like a, so this is like, if this was our H1, this feels like an H2, which is doing the different section. This kind of feels like the H3, almost like an H4 to me, as far as like its hierarchy, right? Because if we're thinking about hierarchy, visual design hierarchy of content now. So we have like the main header. We have a secondary header. This feels a bit ridiculous for a third header. You know, like it feels a bit too small. Not even, this is a better example, right? So it feels like it's missing. So it feels like that's a 4, which means we need a 3. Something in between. Oh, you would be center aligned, wouldn't you? I swear. There's not much of a difference. 40. I think we got that. Yeah, even better. 38. Okay. So we're going to go make these. We're going to keep this one of those here for how we make them. Each of these will reduce down to our new H3. Great. Now, icons. Icons. I really don't want to spend too much time doing this, but it is darn important. We are telling a story with every single thing that we do. The colors, the font, the spacing, and we want to ensure a one consistent story as far as the iconography as well. Get rid of this guy now. Get out of here. I sigh a bit because, you know, it's not charades, what's it called? Pictionary. So where you have to like draw the picture. This is us, like now we're going to go to a site. It's like, okay, I'm thinking of one word, one syllable, script, like written, and we're thinking about how to represent it visually. Which was even funner back in the day because there wasn't really a lot of online resources for icons. So often it was, you know, if we're going to do that, we're going to have to actually design it ourselves. So I always spent a decent amount of time like building actual icons. Ah, shoot, that's not the right account. Nope. Get out of here. Nope. Let's see, continue the email. There we go. This is my paid account. All right, let's do this. Most wanted user face icons. Huh. Those are kind of nice, but not really. So what we have to match is these 3 icons struck a nice tone. You know, like that's like thin, line, wispy, almost feels like a drawing in a sense. So okay, let's roll with that. Let's make sense with those ones. So now what we need though is like to write. Is this like, well, I mean that's not, the style is right, but the, okay, let's look for, thinking of writing. What did they have at first? Yeah, so we know it's a document. That's okay. That's not bad, but it's almost, let's kick it up a notch and have it as actually writing. So this is pretty good. It needs to be a little bit thinner. Let's see if we can edit it. Its thickness, that is. Edit icon. Color shape stroke. Ooh. This is a very nice service for this reason. That looks about right. So let's go with this one. Let's save collection. So this is somebody writing. Great. Storyboard. They had that. I wonder if there's actually like maybe board or collection. I could imagine something where there's actually like 4 or 5 sticky notes. Yeah, kind of like this. You know, that's not bad. That's not bad. Let's see. Will it let us edit it? There's this one with the football icons too. That's not bad in the slightest. But, shoot. Not letting us edit the stroke. That's okay. We'll find something similar. Okay, this one's good. Can we edit it? Survey says, yeah. Shoot, I forget what I brought the other one to. I'm going to assume it's 12 and just like allow for some room for error. Okay, Okay, let's go for that. Save the collection. Next, we got voiceover. So I would almost say microphone more than the sound thing. You can have like a... something more interesting. That's kind of cool. It's a bit more interesting. I think it's still mic. This at least has a bit more action to it. Actual sound lines. That's cool. Let's go this. Those lines are already pretty good, but let's bring it down to be consistent. This is new. This they keep on it. This service actually continues to get just fantastic. I think I could almost build a whole business out of this website alone. Ah, shoot, this one's pretty neat. It's just that background I don't like. I could download it as a... That's okay. Let's not get too fancy. Animation. Okay. Well, let's just put animate. Let's see if they have anything. Ooh, okay. That's not bad. The rabbit's not bad. This may be a winner. That's not too shabby. The rabbit's cool though as well. Back into this is how I used to do research too. I'd basically, let's say we need to do animate. So I'd go animate. Oops. Animate just as a Google search, and then go over to images and just see, okay, this is like what does a collective web show as animation? Okay, so we have like a figure with like points on the different parts. We have multi-frames. So you would just take whatever word you're trying to figure out how to bring down into a concept, and you start and go just do a Google search and see what images like pop up, just to spur some creativity ideas. I think I'm liking this. It might be something, we might be able to find something better, but dag, that's not, does not allow for editing. That also does not allow for editing. So we're out of luck there. Do we try the rabbit? Shoot, so close. That's kind of funny. I just need something that we can get thin enough that's in about the wheelhouse. Okay, we can roll with this. If nothing, I don't think the problem is like, so this is a video player. This is like a path, which is akin to if you ever actually used animating software. So it sort of makes sense, but most people would know that, but even if they don't, we got the stick person. So let's just save that to collection. Hey, welcome to the stream, Evac. No thanks. No need for the Discord invite. Not interested. So we got that there, and now delivery. So we actually want to deliver to the person. How do we do delivery? Well, there's obviously like a package. Well, let's just put delivery and see what kind of comes up first. Okay, truck. It's kind of funny. Package. So I do like the check mark that they use as it's kind of like complete, like it's done. This is good, except I don't like the money. The person's all right. Because it's kind of like the hand-on touch. Let's go with that. Let's see if we can get this and edit it. Not sure that really follows the theme as the rest of them, but let's probably deliver. Let's just put deliver. Let's see what happens. Guy in a truck. I think this is the same. Let's try. Drat. So close, but I just need to reduce that line a bit. Hand on that. So I like the person, like the personal touch is like we are giving it to you, but I may be out of luck on it. So this one with the hand and the check mark is pretty nice. I think we already saw this guy. I don't think I can edit it. Okay. Yeah, for the sake of moving us along, let's go ahead and, well, I also do need to know if I can change this one. Dang. No luck. All right, let's keep it going. Hand on box. Nope. Do not want to do money. Just feels a little bit uncouth. Not very, I think, again, I'm 90% sure we already checked this guy. Yeah, no luck there. If I download as ESG, I might be able to reduce it, but I get the feeling it's outline strokes, so it'll be a shape, and I won't be able to adjust it as I would want to. Darn. That thing was so... I mean, I could obviously take it inside of Illustrator and actually warp it and mess with it, but... nah, that doesn't really fit the theme. Checkbox is that... deliver. Goodness, man, I'm not having any luck with this one. We're gonna choke at the finish line. So, like, I'm so ready to move on and keep going with the design, but we have this one delivery thing to knock out. Let's try just success. Like successful delivery. Okay, so you get kind of these check boxes. We could, or check mark, like a really big one stamped. We could do something like that. Hands with stars. The more you know. Ding. I think I'm leaning towards that star or the checkbox. Well, if it lets me actually edit to get the right size. Of course. Okay, fingers crossed. Let's see if we can get this. Go flat with that. Edit icon. Ah, come on. I just need one more. We're done here. Okay, what else we have? Man, these other checkboxes are so boring, though. Nope. Come on. Man, that is so close. As far as its like size goes. Okay, I get the feeling I just messed with this one. I did. Oh, this is not great for the stream. What do you do on the stream? Well, he's just like looking at icons, trying to make them thinner for like 40 minutes. I get pretty silly at this point. Just anything that's going to be like relatively good. Something's got to get me the smaller lines. That star. Not a great icon. Oh, man. You're killing me, site. Let's go. Tell you, let's go with that star. It's fairly thin. It's like 90% of the way there, and we can move on. I would obviously want to spend more time for the final, but so here's this. I can't save this one to collection. Unsure why. Okay. Well, whatever. Let's just see if we can... Wait, copy CSV? Does that work? Ooh, hello. Very nice. All right. We're getting out of here. Let's go. We had a collection. Tell you what, it's supposed to... Why is it not letting me see? Ah, dang. I'm going to... Whoop. Does not like being placed there. So one more time. Apparently not good as a SVG. Let's try an EPS. How do we get back? One more time with feeling. Let's try EPS. Will you take... Nope. Man. blowing it here. All right, good old PNGs, folks. Let's do it one more time. And keep your fingers crossed for us. All right, bam, fantastic. The only thing I don't like about this now is if I want to change the color, like I'm not going to be able to. Yeah, that's actually going to become a problem. Darn, darn, darn. Okay, a bit more time. We're going to spend the majority of this stream on just iconography. Okay, you two worked. Writing and microphone didn't for some goodness to know reason. Microphone. Maybe it's because of the customization I did. Oh, would you look at that? It's even a nicer microphone in your face. Darn it. Come on. Oh, copy SVG. Did it take? It did too. Boom. Very good. Say this is it's a dumb hang up of mine, but I really don't like dealing with frames as much. Get rid of those things. I get it, and especially for like the last part, you can really have each of them output correctly for the various screens. Like it totally makes sense, but the challenge is just like, again, it's something to me that just seems to slow things down because frames they interact for myself in a different manner. It might be just because of my old school thinking of how I came up in design as opposed to an actual limitation. But, you know, what can I say? It's my stream, it's my design. I can do what I like. Which one are we missing now? So we got microphone, storyboard. The other thing that didn't load was the hand. Okay, so right. I get the feeling the SVGs didn't work because of the change in the thickness. And where's our hand? Are you it? Now, as soon as you edit it, you're not allowed to save it to a collection. Even download's not working. Yeah, same problem. You know what? It was there all along. That looks terrible. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Oh, that is just fantastic. Go here, we'll add stroke. Okay, it was there the whole time. Come on, man. You gotta be kidding. You would. Okay, we'll put it about there. We're not gonna get too fancy. Man, I do like this one better though. But now it's all thick and it's not letting me mess with it. Unless... Jeez, Trevor, I thought you said you're gonna have a design stream. You just sat there like dicking around with icons all night. What happened? It's like, yeah, well, man, that's just that's the life of a designer sometimes. How about that? We'll take it. Best of both worlds. Okay. Bam. 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 We have our steps. Let's play it straight first. Let's just have it like straight down, see where we get to first. How do we make them? First, we start with the script. Now, this is going to be interesting because if I just scale it, the thickness will stay the same. If I press K and scale, yeah, that's probably the way to do it. Okay, great. Script. Storyboard. Again, K. Make sure it's going appropriately. Voiceover. This kind of brings to light a thing I haven't really wanted to deal with, is that the icons up top are... It just feels a bit light. Like I want to use that green, but this just feels like a bit too light Like it's gonna be really hard. Like I changed all of this because of the contrast. And then I come down here and all of a sudden I just let contrast go nuts. I go way too soft. But you just kind of lose that like electric edge if you play with it too much. Well, okay, so that's kind of like a middle ground. You're still not great in context of contrast, but at least we're a little less offside. All right. Animate. Voiceover. And can you imagine if each one of these was also animated, right? It's too many. Each and every one of these, like just that subtle bit of animation to each. Just to give a little pop. And subtle would be the real standpoint of that, right? You would not want it to just be flailing around. You know what? Just real fast. I know how much everybody loved watching me play around on this icon site. I believe they have animated icons now. There we are. God, that is cool. Okay, let's see. Download. If I have as a GIF, will it show inside of? I think there's a way to do it. At least in the. I think if you're seeing it as. Bring page to line. I think if you play, like do it as a prototype, it might actually run. Look at that. Oh man, I entertain myself. That'd be fantastic. The two colors is nice though too. That's kind of, that could help. That is tempting to play around with. I'm gonna leave that here to remind myself and come back to it, but I kind of want to make grander decisions about what this is gonna. And again, like this is an animation site, right? Okay. Site selling animation, I should say. We got our microphone. I love this style. I wonder if learn how to edit. What is this? Okay, so I'd have to go into. I would need to go into an actual different program and do it, and I'm not super bullish on that tonight. So unless we could find things that just happen to be in the right color or single color. Ah, that is so cool. That'd be such a great effect. You're going down, you just have these like cute, like tiny little animations. That'd be phenomenal. But purpose of our exercise here tonight, juice isn't worth the squeeze. We want to get to the rest of the site. All right, one coffee down, switching to different beverage. And we are rolling right around. Okay. How we make them. First we script them. Then we storyboard them. So what we're doing is kind of lining up so it's each one of these items is then going to the top. It'll be sort of the, again, call it like this. This will be the basic kind of dumb version first. Just where it's going to be blah, 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 blah. Like not really creative, not really interesting, but functional, effective, you know. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. that. And then finally here. Alrighty, so how we make them. Now, again, I don't necessarily want to bring in a background color, but I would like some separation to kind of indicate that we're into a new section. So what I might introduce here, you know what I mean? So because here generally what we've started to do is like section, 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 section. So we're able to kind of break it out, break it up. And I'd like to continue that going. And to do that here, if we go, we haven't really had lines before, so I got to find the right way to get to do this, but make sure that's all properly aligned. Right, so just give the visual cue, like, okay, you're entering into another section now. You know, sometimes you can do that. These headers alone, especially if you put like an icon near each one, can't achieve that for you, but it's not, we haven't done icons for each, so didn't want to introduce a new thing. I will say for these, I probably want them to be meaningful. Let's do that. Let's see if I can get rounded edges. Yeah. Not sure it'll really even show up on such a tiny line, but you know. Now, you know what? I made them gray. They should probably, in fact, be this green. And then even then, we can cut that down by half. Just get them to even maybe less. Just much like the background hearts above. Just get them to sit into the background a bit so it's not taking up too much focus. So they achieve their stated goal, but they don't go beyond that mandate. Okay. Now it takes up a decent amount of room. Like that's a lot of reading. Like someone has to go down a long time to get through them all. But even immediately, if you just think about, like, this is important. Like, what is your process? Like, what are you doing? If we're going to feature it, they're never going to click this. But is that too tall, too long? Now, I'll say this. If these were animated each, I think somebody would go through just for the interest's sake alone. That's not bad. I would like to connect them because it's one after the other. And we're going to bring out one of my favorite tricks, which is just the little square. What I'm going to do is figure out what the distance is between the bottom line and then the next box below it to make sure the spacing is all the same. Now, Figma has tools, like you can do it, but then I have to actually join them, like group them, as opposed to messing around. Now, and some might say I should probably be grouping these anyways. Again, that's kind of like a element, but sometimes, again, it just, for the sake of exploration and play and figuring out where we want to go, I just like to keep it light, keep it loose, focus on being able to get into all the elements really quickly so it doesn't break our flow. All right, can we introduce a line between these things? Let's make it the kind of funky green. Oops. Make it super thick and make it dashed. So we're now, like, you know, we're connecting the dots. They're following the map. They're following the story. And we're going to bring them down through it. Now, where do I get dashed line? That's fine. That's fine. Stroke style dash. Not in love with the fact that it's different. Okay, so like that. Better. You know, I'd like each dash to be the same. I'm not getting a lot of options to do so. I'm not gonna fret too much though. go with that. Okay, lead. I suppose that should all accidentally just be the exact same size because we messed around with the sizing. Do we include it on top? How tall are you? You are, well, width. It's calling it 106. Got that. Got that. Got that. All right. So that's one version of it. So let's walk them through the process. I think it's a fairly nice looking part. Like, the layout of those particular items, like give each a little bit of prominence, let them read it. Kind of liking how that's spaced. That's doing okay. The question becomes, do we... It's just a bit much, you know? Like, it's not one off, like just this heart. Kind of cool, kind of interesting. But just to see it like stacked one on top of the other, I'm not sure it is as beneficial to us. I think it's a bit much. So I think we should probably stick with the green or the gray it was at. Yeah, that's not doing it. Now, are you black? As we discussed, not really great to ever have like kind of flat black. We kind of prefer more of a dark gray just to give some degree of depth. Okay, so there's a certain simplicity to that, which is kind of nice. So just leading it through. Then you could do like ones and twos and everything, but I don't know that would add as much to it. I am curious, by way of comparison, to see. That is exactly what I want. Look, I did it. It's perfect. Oh, Control Z is your buddy. All right. There. Everything out of the way. Now there was the other one that had, what are my sizes? Basically this thing. You know, we can actually bring these things back down again. Reuse an element, which is kind of cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. How many steps we got? 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tell you what, then we can make the last one big. So we're reusing element. That's kind of exciting. Is that how much space we gave on the top? Yeah, let's keep that then. All right, let's make it work. Might need to make them taller. You get to the back. Iconography is going to be interesting to play with. Not what I want there. Let's get you lined up. I'm just getting everything already about the same size, so I don't have to deal with it inside of it. So we're going to need to increase the height. At least by that. If not more. We haven't allotted any room for the icons yet, which isn't great. How much width do we have? Can I extend these a bit? No, that is it. That's the width we had kind of been playing with. All right. 18. 27. Okay, so we are... Okay, so we can kind of revisit this context a bit. because the other one's super large. We are scrolling in. Okay, so it's all kind of interesting. It's good. Yeah, I could probably make that. Well, here, this feels almost kind of nice because it's like bam, 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 bam. Especially if these are each animating. Oh man, if these animate as you scroll to each item, like punch, 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 punch. So it's almost like it's not there, but then as soon as I animate at a certain point, then it animates. And I come here and then it animates. That would be excellent. I think we could reduce the font size a bit here, not suffer. The question is, do we make the other one, the header down as well? I'll call that 28. I don't think so. Let's keep it the same. What's the other sizes we've used? 27, 18. Let's try 18. Oof, that seems tiny. That certainly makes this a good argument for 28. Well, I've ruined these boxes. Let's go get the other ones. Where are they at? About there. Okay. Up. You to the back. This was over here. Going 1, 2. This one moving across. Great. You are 18. You are 18. This was 28. Click, click, click. Probably center it, but let's just get everything kind of in place first. Where are we going to put these icons? That is the question. Is that right? Let's see. You come over. Okay, you're fine. And then we got, last of all, 28. We had 18. Fitting it in. I'm kind of leaning towards the other one we had, but at the same time, I haven't really given this enough time to try this yet, you know? That one site that had it, how do they flow? No, I just had numbers to do the flowing. I might be getting too cute with the boxes. That's a different... There's a ninja there once. Okay, anyways. I'm getting distracted. Because, yeah, if we get rid of that... Alright, let's... Some point too, in a lot of ways too, it's not like this one of these is like a right answer, which is always the interesting part. Like really what you'd want to do is speak with the stakeholders and then, you know, see which one they feel best represents the business. You know, like when you envision the business and how your customers and how they're coming here, like what do you want them to see? Which one speaks to you? Now, I like this more ordered approach, like, and I prefer like big and large and like let them read, like, you know, there's really no right answer that we're chasing necessarily, but at the very least I want to give it I want to give each its due. So they can look at each concept and say, okay, this concept also looks good, I just don't like it as much necessarily, which is a fine answer. That goes over about that much. We get some real silliness. The sizing. Great. Great. Let's bring in the icons. Delivery. Section by section, piece by piece. We are building a masterpiece. Real impressive, I rhymed piece with piece. That's good, that's good. Do one thing, make sure I didn't get a message with a request. Get the feeling we're kind of wrapping up with this one here, but just want to triple check. That one's fine. Okay, let's put that around to here. Man, so badly want that to animate. Okay, so it's certainly more condensed. It's a, more efficient use of space, but certainly like that more. Okay, let's put it into kind of like a browser view and see if we can get a sense of how we're feeling. Okay. Not sure what it's trying to show there. Okay, we'll click on that. Okay, this is animating across. There's those things. Which ones do we make? Okay, feeling pretty good. How do we make them? Scripts, storyboard. It has a friendly feel to it. This, when I come down to it, like, it's approachable, and yeah, I know it's a lot of scrolling, but like it's explaining the process one by one. Kind of gets it, so I don't find it burdensome personally. Yeah, this is just cold. It's efficient, but it's cold. There's probably a way to do it, but the other one's kind of as stock simple as it is. There's a friendliness to that simplicity I'd kind of like to stick with. So let's punt out of that. I think we have our answer. I'll take this, and as I always suggest when you're messing with these things, I guess keep it somewhere. Save it. Don't throw out ideas, because we might be able to use that somewhere else where that'll be a good application. What didn't I like? I didn't like how some of the lines were interacting. Kind of felt a bit tight, crowded, if you would. It's just a random thought. What if we have this telling a story instead? Why does it feel like it's centered on the top but then not on the bottom one? A lot of sense that makes. Okay. Oops. Nope, I just scaled it. Did I again? Okay. Yeah, gosh darn know what. I think I just stumbled on a better application. How about that? You never know what you're going to just stumble upon when you're playing around. Play is a really great word for designers too. I think I heard that about creatives, where sometimes they just need time to play. And if they're gonna find like some of the greater options, they just need to be able to like putz around and try to like make some silly kind of discoveries, and eventually they'll just happen upon a gem. So this is sort of a inconvenient part where, so this is centered text, and it just happens to perfectly align with this one, which, so it's almost like you think this is left aligned. I don't know that it's that big of a deal. I mean, we could always just, you know, literally reduce it by 2 or 3 to cheat a little bit if we really feel like it makes a problem, but I'm going to leave it for now and assume it's not much of an issue. 56, 56, yeah. All right. Look at that, a whole nother section done. Well, 2 sections so far. Aren't we rolling? Where are we at? Okay. But again, I think if we do some of the comparisons here, we started with this. How we make them. But each one of these, like this is a click, we had to go into each one. So you're asking your viewer to really work at it. And it's not doing very well to illustrate or kind of tell a story. Instead, now what we've done is we've added this nice kind of follow through, this dotted line, this like story of how, this story for how we produce stories for your animation and how to get it through. So I feel that's a lot stronger. And one thing I realized I just missed though, here I was thinking we were finished, is there was this really nice animation. I love animations on this site because they are a site for animations. If we go to here, let's see. How much width do we have? Just bringing these down to see like how, not a lot. I was trying to see if like he could like live here on the left side. Yeah, I think the recommendation there would be, oops, I didn't mean to delete that, is instead to use some of the animated icons. So let me pull one of those guys up here. So if we had, here it is, like, God, I just love this thing. Okay, I download the, I had one. Didn't I save it somewhere? I just gave the tip of not deleting things and I deleted something. Just, what a hypocrite. There it is. All right, let's get you back in the fold, back in the mix. So this isn't permanent, but I just want to show it. What I would want to do, I think instead of that one animation, I think the real opportunity is to have each of these animated, just like to draw them down and then kind of have this same effect, but like in context of what we're particularly looking at. Because if we check this out, so let's play it. I love that Figma does GIFs. So here we are. So we're on the site, we're scrolling down. Okay, now this is supposed to be, you know, shooting left to right. Bunch of lines got added to that. I'll check that out in a second. But we're scrolling, and then check that out. Right? Like it becomes like, in my mind, it becomes like really interesting, really fascinating. And even better is if you could control it per scroll event. Like when I'm here, this animates. And now that this is in the center, this animates. Animates, you know, one by one, like punch, 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 punch. All right. But so that'd be the, you know, the ultimate recommendation for the client. We chat with them. Okay, comment here, design tip, dark mode. Yeah, Be curious about it. Generally, I think it's a bit of. I find it to be a bit of a parlor trick on websites where I was going to purchase this animated explainer video service, but they didn't have a dark mode, so I'm going to leave it alone. I love seeing it on portfolio websites, which look phenomenal. Like, it's always kind of cool to see it. But on just a sales website, I almost find it better just focus on a vision and a story that you're trying to tell, and then keep it kind of one mode. So dark mode, you see them sometimes like flips on the top. Although, like, I think with modern coding, you can determine if the user is in dark or light mode, and then swap your site accordingly. But again, is the juice worth the squeeze, as opposed to really honing in on the content and the flow to make sure that they want to purchase your stuff? Be kind of my thought towards dark mode. Comment there from chat, much appreciated. Okay, we answer your questions, so we have a nice opportunity to switch over back to a colored section, break up the white. All right, I think when I ungroup this, we'll lose the background color, as I've determined that that's how this website grabber does it. Not a problem. Now, how does this work? Let's get to the site. This isn't a good capture of the site. That's not a fair representation. So let's hop over here, get to the actual website. Okay, so it is in. So I was saying, like, it's not like this is broken in so much as it's not overlaid like this on the actual website. I want to give them that benefit of the doubt. Let's see. Good comment here. Good content before slice of life things like that. OFC. Just nicer not to get flashbanged through, though. IMO, in your opinion. Good content before slice of life things. Yeah, I mean, content's king. I think one of my mentors he was in marketing, and I was giving him a big fuss because he was having me produce something that I thought was horrendous. I could not stand how ugly the thing looked, and he just like sat me down, and not as nice of language as I'll use here, said, if it makes me $2 million a month, I don't give a damn if it looks awful. I don't care if it looks like garbage. If it makes me $2 million a month, I don't care if it looks like garbage. And for me at the time, it's a slap in the face, because I had subscribed in many ways to design is almost a religion, where it's like, oh, the great design is above all else and everything. And what he was really hammering on is that all this silly, like, constant unrelenting focus on UI UX, like flow and all these things, like if it in any ways detracts from marketing, messaging, content, and value, like, it's not necessarily there. Like, the greatest design or user flow in the world will never replace like the most amazing product in the world. But in a market that's saturated with a bunch of similar product competing, it is where you can have a differentiator. So yeah, absolutely. Good content before slice of life, things like that. All right. So we answer your questions. What are the advantages of independent content? Schedule free with their expert right now. I don't necessarily like, this is not much of a stream on content. I don't really like how that's phrased. I think generally it's like, do you have any questions, such as, here's some common ones, FAQs that we've received in the past. If you have anything similar, get in contact with us now. So I'd want to workshop that text a little bit, but we're going to... This, perfect. I did it. This is the greatest design that's ever happened. Is it inside of... Okay, it's all grouped up because of how I grabbed it. That is a frame. Ungroup, 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 ungroup. All right. Let's grab the right color. There it is. We answer your questions. I would like to see this, I think, as a left and right. You know, it's kind of funny in this last part. We just had a bunch of fun and like had this big long like we threw any concern about space to the wind, and we had this like big long flow. And now I'm trying to like save space and be conscious. It's mostly just because like if you look at this element's sitting here on its own, doesn't feel particularly strong. It's not really sitting too well there. So what I'd like to do is have it go kind of a left and right type of thing. Let's bring in the columns we had here. And by columns, I'm being a bit loose with those words. We haven't done like a true... I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I've done a proper grid and I've done all of some of the other kind of more important work that would be needed if you're going to have kind of a longer tail, live forever type website and design system. Like we are really just doing some off the cuff startup, pretty mode design stuff to try to get this site looking better. But just the same, like I do, like this is the spacing I generally have for the content and I want to reuse it. So, and the width limits I've assigned for the site. Why is that not? It is a group within a group within a group within a group. I wonder if this, so again, like I grabbed this site using the HTML to design plugin. I wonder if, like I should go ahead and buy the pro version, and I wonder if it'd allow me to get rid of the div. No, I don't think that lets me get rid of divs at all. Just the way they group stuff is really frustrating, but you know, not the end of the world. Just take some clicking and ungrouping. What have we got here? All right, now I think we got it. There you go. Some reason I'm clicked on you. Now let's keep you in the center. Let's move you about there. Let's get you over this side here. Dan. Drat. Let's not fully over to the left. Do love a good design session on a Friday night. Not sure why the arrows as opposed to bullets. What are the advantages of animated videos? What's the investment? Like most ideally, none of these would go on 2 lines. Let's put you 3 there, put you there, make you bold. You punch out a little bit more because that's the actual, you know, request. Let's make you dark gray. We're trying to get rid of that purple throat. I don't know if this is an appropriate place to be playing with the breaking of the box from behind like I've done for here or here. I'd like to do it again just because these boxes tend to be a bit flat. But I think the way to do it, if at all. This would probably be difficult because this is a widget. So I can already hear the... Oops. Oof. Yeah, that's going to be a challenge for developers. I'm a little bit scared to suggest this for them to do. Is because that's going to be pain. That's going to be a bother. I'll put it because I think it works well. Like I like how it looks. You know, it does some of the same, it uses some of the same type of flow things we're doing on other parts of it. for that reason I'd like to do it. I get the feeling we would talk with the developers or whoever's going to build this site and turn out you cannot do this. Or like not easy, not within any reason. So, but we will. That is for the implementation another day. But what is that? Was that this? No salesy technique, but exploring. Oh, okay. It's trying to just tell. Yeah, fine. What is this? It's a div. Let's go. Ungroup. Ungroup. Again. Centered. Yeah, we'll have you live outside of that. If it's needed at all. I mean, it's like, it's cheeky. Does it really like serve any purpose? Does it move the needle? That's just a little bit close. What is the investment? And the return. There we go. I've been doing my best not to mess too much with the content because this isn't a content stream, you know, but in this case where I could just save some verbiage just to give me a bit more of the purposeful spacing between. We'll do it that way here. Okay, how are we doing? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections left. We're rounding up at about 10:30. There's a good part of me that wants to power through, but there's another good part of me too that is getting tired. Okay, they already had success. They already had success with animation. So this would be the testimonials. Why didn't it take? Okay, let's see if we can. Success with animation. Let's bring you in. Oh, there we go. There's some weird. Good, we got all of our pieces. Let's try flow again, just to make sure the font size is everything. I'm worried I'm making the font size a bit too big. No, that feels okay. There's a couple really cool treatments you could do for this where I see it on Monday.com, which is kind of one of my go-to web design sites these days when I'm trying to show something. So we go to Monday.com. Oh, they've changed recently. Oh, wow, they really shoot. Well, there goes that demonstration. They had. Okay, there it is. Okay, cool. I was worried. So they have vastly changed the top. I'd be really curious to see the data behind it. They had a few cool ideas around, like you would click on like, hey, what are you doing? And then it would show you how it would work. And seems like they nixed that entirely. So I guess it wasn't working for them. And then this is all new too. Drat. Anyways, the part that I like, and I think this still works, is also, I just love this visual. Heavily influenced by Apple and the new way to do it. Am I zoomed in? Why is this? Well, anyways, this is the part. So piece by piece, this site explains here's some of the key benefits of doing this. And as you scroll over each one, the image on the right animates to show that particular thing you're talking about. Bring the teams together to bring impact. Stay on track to reach your goals. So just shift. And actually that kind of brings them through that process of it. Love that type of thing. If folks have the bandwidth, what you could imagine is how we make them. Okay, first we write the script, and then it's the animation is on the right scripting, and then we get into the storyboard, and then the animation on the right like shifts and it changes. A lot of cool ways to kind of get through this part of it. I'm trying to be a bit sensitive to it because I do think it's not the world's biggest team, I don't believe, at this time. So it's not like you want to have, 2 months worth of development time to build a site when some kind of like simple layout like that would do. So just to mention it, that is fascinating. This new header is really difficult. I mean, that's this menu, then you got this like sub banner, and now all of these boxes, all of these logos. It's just hard to, like, if you just look at, like, if you kind of squint, it's like, what am I supposed to look at? Like, what am I supposed to do? Where am I? What am I looking at? What do you want me to know? What do you want me to do next? And it kind of becomes confusing. That's too bad. Their site was gorgeous, but again, they probably have some data and they're shifting that. Like, the gorgeous version probably wasn't converting for them. So, okay, congratulations. We have the world's greatest website that doesn't help the business, right? Too bad. I like to point to it as an example. Can I ungroup all of these in one shot? And pretty close. Ungroup. Hey, there we go. Bob's your uncle. There's a keyboard shortcut for this, and I've never once been able to get it to work. It just deletes it. It says it's command. Tell you what, it's actually probably because I have a smaller like Mac keyboard, like this one here. So I don't think I actually have that back key, I suppose. Delete. Okay. Oh, the difficult life I live. Okay, what is the challenge with this? When we look at it, I like that that's animated. That's cool. That's nice. Can I copy that? It's an image. Is it possible to copy it? It isn't. What is this, though? Animated SVG. Okay, whatever. Did Figma save it? Why does it always insist on going there? Okay, let's hit play. Did Figma actually save the animated SVGs? That'd be really impressive. Bah, too bad. Not to be. Okay. But let's look at it. What is the challenge I'd be trying to solve? So, face, quote, then who they are. I think if anything, maybe we want the face just a bit larger. We have this quotation marks are huge, and then we also, again, have quotation marks. It's almost like if you're going to have these, get rid of this. One thing I like to do is often have these big ones just pop it on the left side and have it in there. 5 stars. I think if anything, it's sort of, this text seems more prominent than this, which would almost make sense if it was like Coca-Cola or like IBM. I'd like that to be less prominent. This feels like a waste. Probably blow up their photo a bit. I know there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I do wonder if it's another opportunity to use the boxes, or this would be kind of like overkill. Okay, let's see where we can get to. It's not bad. Generally speaking, this section is not egregious. It's not super bad. This is unfortunate. There's some sort of white border happening with this gentleman here, but we'll work on that. Yeah, I think that if anything, it's probably the tiny images firstly. So twofold. These are a weird use, and the images are super tiny. Then these are more prominent than the actual words. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. How are you all mixed heights? And width 69, 60. Fine. Will this ruin anything? No. Good. Okay, link you up. Let's. Darn. Okay, we'll solve this in a second. Oh, perfect, actually. There in corner. Get rid of you, this. At some point it does, you know, just end up being preference, you know? Like, I don't want to sit here and try to say, like, clearly this is the way to do it. What the heck is going on here? Okay, it is a oddity within Figma and the web. I'm not going to solve it. Ideally, you would have those white lines not be there. Well, and me putting it there is kind of cheating, but that wasn't necessarily the purpose. Let's see. So, visual trick I like to do. Let's keep it there. Let's add a second stroke on the... Oh, can I not adjust it? Yeah, okay, I'll have to do separate circles. Not a problem. This, let's make it that kind of soft green we had, and probably even fade it more into the background. Put you at, I don't know, like a 20, barely there. Oops, I went way too far. There we go. Again, at this point, this is like, you'll hand this to another designer. One of my favorite, not favorite, but a fascinating YouTube video that I really loved. I'd love to see it happen more for designers. And maybe it exists, maybe I just haven't found it. But it'd be a music producer, and you'd give them a sample. Okay, here's the sample. And you get these 4 awesome music producers going through, and they'd end up at just like the most diverse, crazy UI, like the audio a song you can imagine, just completely different from one another. So to see how somebody takes something and just warps it and like changes it and makes it custom, to do the same thing would be designers would be fantastic. So you give them the same kind of, almost like this same website, and hey, improve this website. And then at the end of it, you have the 4 of them come together and it's like, okay, here's what I did with it, and just see like the crazy offshoots for where it could go. I think it'd be fascinating. Now, let's get you out of the way. Let's get here. Let's get you regular. So, as a reminder of where we started with on this section, it was kind of just a spacing, and then it's like, why the photos seem particularly small. These quotations don't seem to be doing much, especially since then there's a quotation in the words, and this seems capital, like more prominent than the words themselves, talking about how great the system is. So, that goes there. Man, I hate that this thing is here. You know, I'd really like it to be clean, like a clean break into the next. I think maybe next stream what I got to figure out is how to get some music playing in the background. I think you can do that on Twitch and such. Again, I'm doing my best not to mess with content, especially just like, you know, I'll change the content to serve my design. But I will say I really don't see the benefit of this little line. No salesy text needs, but exploring data-driven answer is interesting. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's, I wasn't going to call, but then I read that cutesy subtext, and then I decided to. This way, without that, like, so we've used this green to just like break, give us that like next break in between. And that's certainly where I wanted to get to. Let's see. Welcome everybody to the stream. If you are watching live and you want a if you have a design issue you'd like to solve, you have a website you want me to look at or a portfolio, I'm happy to take a break from this one and do that instead. Probably going for another 20 or so minutes here. All right, let's put those there. Let's make it a little more visible. Great. What I don't mind doing, shoot, I'm gonna combine this. Oops, what did I do? I think I deleted text. See you soon. Yeah, Control V and Control C. We all know what that's like. Hit that with the left. Boom, go again. Darn it. I'll tell you what, let's go to the site. This will be faster to copy. Let's hit this up. Let's hit that up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's remove the quotation marks for each of these. Boom, let's go ahead and center them. I think this is, the problem is if it's centered, I might have to put them left just to go work with this quotation marks. My idea is from the previous one where it's kind of just like detachment from the face to what they're actually talking about. But I prefer to have these kind of on the left, like one big quotation on the left of it, have it stay out, but accordingly I'm going to need to left align it because otherwise they're going to be floating super weird if it's centered. Great. Okay. Boom. Get rid of you. Let's get this content in. If I still, am I continually forget to change that purple to a black or green? I get the feeling I am. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd kind of like that to sit down in the background a bit more. Because again, like it's a nice visual, but it's not the point. You know what I mean? Like it's cool to see, but like it's not what we're trying to get out of it. I don't know if bold would make it kind of too hard to read. How big is this? 25. That's a weird font size. I don't think we have that anywhere else. 24, what are you? Let's go take you to there, same thing. And then these, let's do that same. Of course you'd mess with my spacing. How dare you. Let's get this line to the top. Make sure you're all lined up on the top. Let's get them lined up with the... I don't think so. These are all the way across, right? Let's get let's bring down some boxes just to make sure we're... How big are you? Oh, I need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's you. Well, hold on. let's redo that and make my life a bit easier with some more appropriate spacing. Good. Boxes, 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 boxes. 4. That's okay. Let's get you over. Okay, let's get you over. Let's get you over. I think I'm going to have to reduce this font size. I'm going to introduce a new font size that I don't use anywhere else. A bit of a sin, but doesn't really hurt all too much. I'm not sure if the bold's working for me either, because this is like it's all just fighting, you know. Yeah, I want it to be wood cards work well here. One, 2, 3, 4 comes down to here. We're scrolling along. We got a bit of a box there. And again to here, and here's these 4 people with boxes. It's not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Have to reduce this down a bit. Feels crowded. How much benefit are these little quotation marks playing? With those gone, I'm kind of curious if we go back to centered text since they're in the cards. Let's leave them left aligned and then take it from there. You center. You center. Now let's do the same silly trick I always like to do, just like breaking the flow, breaking the boxes to create visual interest. So we'll split that in half. I think I'm kind of struggling with this. So I'd like to, in some ways, almost have the stars like under the person. But does that say like this person is 5-star as opposed to like I gave a 5-star? Curiouser and curiouser. I think I'm going to take. I think I'll have to take these people all left. Let's go left to line left. Go left. Probably have to make them a bit bigger, a bit taller. We'll make them all the same size though. Three, 4. All the names, all you beautiful people. I tend to like to do, just to kind of give that I do this in my email all the time as well, but just give it some call out as to where we are. It's kind of, I've often thought about putting together a video about email design, where it is so critical that when you're writing somebody a message, that they comprehend it, that they understand it. And how you lay it out is actually an interesting design challenge. Like, okay, well, now I'll do a new line. Now this will be a bullet. Now this will be a link. Like just spreading out the content as an exercise in design. So, you know, applying our design and our empathy to email, of all things. Okay, your face is not in the center. There we go. Here we are. I think that's kind of interesting. One, two, three, four. Let's get that all aligned to the top. The name's at the bottom because it's sort of like, you know, unless it's the name of somebody people recognize, and even then they'd recognize the face, right? Is there any point in having it slightly bigger? Yeah, I think that's better. Challenge is now I gotta... If I go center and center, does that mean that when I do this, it'll... Nah, I didn't think it would. Why should I be so lucky? Okay, center you. Hey, center, center. Great. Okay. Nuts. All right. Great. Now, so where we started, you know, it's, I don't know, I tend to find it obvious when, you know, after you spend a bit of time, you massage it, you work on it. This is where we started, and then this is where we end up. Actually, like, let's just do like an even more stark comparison, right? Because we have all this space, we have all this thing to work within, and what are we trying to do? You know, these are the people, right? So why on earth would you not, like, people love faces. Like, the human eye just complete every time will shoot to faces, and specifically eyes. You know, it's one of those research things that they've proven out. So seeing faces is great. It humanizes it. Oh, these are actual human beings. What have they done? Oh, they gave a 5-star. Now, this one I'm a bit curious of. I don't know that this is the right way, because it's sort of like, okay, is she 5 stars, or did she give me a 5-star? I'm not, well, I'll tell you what, let's, well, let me finish my thought, then we'll play around with that one. And then, this is great, thank you so much. We have this face, it's a little bit too tiny, kind of bizarrely tiny. And then we have this quotation mark. I love that. Like, that's a design thing I do all the time. But just in this context, it's like 1, 2, 3, and it's breaking everything up and creating this weird spacing thing and not getting to the punchline soon enough. So, got rid of it. Let's just put the actual quote. And then the person, in this case too, the name, because it's bolded compared to the rest of it, almost stands out more than the quote, which it almost makes sense if we knew who these people were, but no, you know, shades at these people, but ultimately I don't know who they are. You know, this isn't like Mick Jagger says he loves these animations. All right, but for experimentation, let's get in and see what would happen if we put the stars below. Because what we're trying to say is that these people ranked our service 5 stars, and I worry that, like, it looks like this person is a 5-star person, which I'm sure they are. Like, let's be honest. One design issue will be is that because the quotes are different, and you can imagine in future as more quotes come in, this will become more and more of an issue, because if they say more or less, we'll have a harder time lining up the similar elements. I don't think it helps one way or the other. And this way too, we'd have more control over. Every time there's a quote, there is a person, there is a star rating, and then some text. So because we can control it that way, have that like height showing up, that seems to certainly work better. Kind of looks slightly flat. I just wonder if we could grab, you know, if again, I'm kind of being maybe too cute by half and putzing around with this type of stuff, but let's go with, okay, let's start with a darker color. Start with, and then we'll back it off. You are 5. Let's make you 2. I barely want to see this. I just want to create some subtle like texture, some visual interest going on in the background that folks will hardly even notice, but just means that it's layers and depth and visual interest. And let's put you at like, yeah, I don't know, maybe just be the visual noise we're kind of playing around with, not really helping much. But I just tend to like this, this layering of it. Add some texture, add some visual interest. We already have it kind of at the top. So not bad, not bad. Okay, that sort of wraps us up for the night. So we are closing out on this session, this design of it. If we look at what we accomplished here today, it was a quick one as far as this content here. Why we make animations. Didn't change much. Like it was kind of a decent, like, little laid out section. Only thing we did is because our previous section had the color already, we had to put it onto white. Worked with the coloring, and just for some visual interest, added some stuff into the background. The biggest piece of work we undertook today, and it took a long time because of the iconography, was the story, the walkthrough. How do we make these things? Currently on the site, it was a click by click by click. You had to go through and individually click each one to get a sense of it. So we blew that out, and we also just made it a bit more visually interesting in a story to like drag them down. My real big suggestion, I've mentioned this before, is what I'd really love to see is each one of these is an animation. When they're developing this one, and I mean, this is an animation shop, I'd like to think they have these abilities. But as you scroll through for those various parts to help drag the person, like give some suspense, give some desire to go through, as they are going into each one of them, have this animate. So as this hits into the middle, this animates, like all the little board pieces like kind of fly in, and it looks interesting. Then you come down over to voiceover, and like now the microphone is going. Just have each one of these animate, because I believe that would help drag the person through this section and continue on. And especially, really, this ends up being, I'm only kind of seeing this now, I feel, a really key part, because we want to get them through this and ideally set up a call, like a meeting, a session with them, right? Like we want them to contact us so we can make the sale. So if you can like work on that and have those animations happening, I think that would help very much so. Okay, just for the sake of that, put that there. We cleaned up the section here for creating a meeting. So, have like the value prop, like what we kind of want to do on the left side, have a nice like left-right balanced sort of layout, and then have this calendar break the box just to create some visual interest. This may not be possible looking at the code for the site itself, how it actually works. This is a funky little thing, so I'm not sure it can actually be programmed that way, but we'll remain hopeful. So just a bit of a layout change for it. Also worked a little bit on the language to kind of condense it down so that it would fit nicely, left, right side, well balanced. And then for the quotes, people love people. Like humans love to see other humans, so let's blow up their faces a little bit. Take out some of the unnecessary, well, again, I like using quotations like this. I've done it all the time in my designs. But for these particular boxes, I just thought it was better to like leave them out. Let's get right to the meat of it. Blow up their faces a bit, and then even use some of the previous boxes from before in a nice like 4-column layout. So each one is, a card. Like this in particular was a review of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that worked out. So where we are currently landing, this is where we started. So we got the before on the left side, and through all these sessions, like we're slowly improving it. And this is what's looking like on the right side. So, I'm telling you, my greatest achievement so far is managing to reuse the seafoam green. I'm real happy I managed to save it. But adding some texture, adding some layer, breaking out the boxes. We moved up the companies we work with. That was a game time decision today, but I just figure seeing this, have him kind of sit on top of it, and ideally you get 2 or 3 biggest logos right up front, right on there to see IBM. It's like, oh, IBM, credibility. These people are like good business. I can definitely work with them. Blow out those photos here so that it's, larger photos, like more interesting visuals for it, like not introducing additional colors with the red. This was the big task today, which is so, it feels ridiculous given like how simplistic this seems, but really it was, how do we get it done? Breaking out all this, like bringing in the content and working on it. So it's kind of funny how long that took. And then the book your session, and then our quotes. We are rounding up. Looks like we only have next stream we'll look at we assure you of, so kind of some quality guarantee pieces. Another quote. I don't know. That's kind of an interesting one actually, because we already did quotes, now we're representing another quote. It's kind of, I don't know. In some ways, again, like I'd like to assume that the company has done some really difficult work in finding the proper content for that. So we're going to go ahead and work that in. So next session, these guarantees are like what we offer, another quote, some frequently asked questions, last pitch, and then the footer, which is always a absolute blast. PayPal and Visa, this is like, this will be interesting because it's like, I'm going to work with you. I don't know that the fact that you take PayPal is really going to be the differentiating factor. So it sort of does not feel like a real differentiator to bother with, but we'll work on that another time. I'm making progress. I think one way or the other, I think this is really shaping up to feel like a much grander, better site. I almost get the feeling I'm going to be coming back to this next session to clean it up a bit. Feels a little juvenile. Feels like it could be cleaned up a little bit further, but that's a struggle for another day. Hey, everybody who joined me on this stream, thank you so much for it. If you want to sign up for the next one, find me on social at Alexander Trevor on Twitter, or Just Enough Design on Instagram. Send me a message, send me an email. If you want to get your design looked at, would be glad to do so. We can do this exact type of work for your website if you have one. If you want a portfolio review, glad to do any of the above to help with your designs. So, till next time, name's Trevor from Just Enough Design, and cheers to your great looking work. Have a good night, everybody.